Hey, Weather Warriors. In this video, we're going to be talking about a superstorm brewing in the Atlantic Ocean that could affect parts of Canada and also Europe. And we're also going to go over the major nor'easter that's affecting the East Coast in the second half of this video. I wanted to bring your attention to this really powerful jet stream brewing right off the coast of the US and Canada into the North Atlantic. There's a low pressure system right here, and it is expected to be a powerhouse very, very soon here. Now, if you look at the actual low here, we're going to turn on the surface conditions. We're using a site called Windy TV. It's a really cool site you can use too. This is good for like the North Atlantic. Watch as we get towards Wednesday here. Look at that low pressure system just blossom. It goes all the way down to a 938, and it's right here. This is going to impact parts of Newfoundland in particular. Just look at the power in this storm system. We're talking wind speeds of 70 miles an hour. This is not a hurricane, it's just a low pressure system, and 938 millibar pressure. Okay, and that's very, very low. That's extremely low. So it's going to be just sitting off the coast. So Canada is kind of looking out, even though that they could get a couple of feet, maybe even 3 feet with this system in some areas. But this is a very powerful storm system. Now, will it affect parts of Europe? I'm going to go over that in a second as well. But if you go back up to 300 millibars, look at the jet stream. Just incredible. Now, you'll notice the low pressure system starts off in the jet stream. We'll come back here. It's a little weather tidbit for you. It'll start off in the jet stream. You see where the winds are diverging in the upper levels? Well, that low pressure system at the surface is the jet stream is stretching out the air up above, and it's pulling air up underneath to fill its spot. That's how you get a low pressure system to develop. But as we head towards Wednesday, look what happens. It becomes a barotropic low. So that's usually a low that's detached from the jet stream. It's north of the jet stream now. And when that happens, they start to weaken. So the peak of this low pressure system will be right as that low is starting to move off the jet. And that's going to happen Wednesday morning or so. And you'll see later on it starts to weaken a bit. Now 950, still a very powerful system. 962 as we head towards Friday, it's 974. And when we get to Europe, and I'll show you what happens when it gets to Europe, but you can see right now, this is the precipitation. Here's the low here. Newfoundland, really just all in northeast Canada, getting whipped by this thing. The main winds will be just off the coast, but it still could be very breezy, 20, 30, 40 mile an hour. But off the coast, you could get winds of 60 to 80 miles an hour if you're in the ocean for whatever reason up in that area. But you can see the 540 line, this is the rain to snow line way out here. So all of that stuff back there is going to be snow for Newfoundland. They could get 1 to 3 feet in some areas with this thing. And then eventually that tracks into Europe, which we'll look at here. This is the height anomalies. You can see the big system sitting out there. And it right here, this is the system we're looking at Friday into Saturday. So it moves into Europe, Ireland or so, Friday into Saturday, very deep bowling ball trough. The good news is most of the cold, usually, you look at this, the height anomalies, the cold's going to be on the backside. So it won't be particularly cold, but it will be storming. And we'll look at the precipitation real quick. And again, this is going to be affecting parts of Europe on the weekend here. So we'll go to Friday. Here's the low. Sitting out here, you can see all those black isobars that you're going all the way from 124 to 950 or so. So tons of lines there. That's going to be breezy and windy. There's your low pressure system right there, sitting off the coast near between Ireland and Iceland. And that's going to deliver multiple ways. When these systems weaken, they shear out, so they kind of become more widespread. You can imagine a really tight spiral, and then when it slows down, it becomes more widespread. And you also get more bands of precipitation. So there could be multiple waves of precipitation, very cold, heavy rain, and long duration and very widespread. So this is Friday. A wave comes in to the coast, and then you see Saturday, Sunday, more waves. So plenty of precipitation for Western Europe, especially Northwestern Europe, coming up this weekend. And you can see we'll do the total accumulated QPFs here, which is the liquid falling, which is going to be mostly rain. You can see as much as several inches, that red there, 50, well, You guys usually use millimeters, so 50 millimeters out there. Lots of rain, okay? Yes, some snow for Norway is forecasted, but other than that, not a whole lot of snow south of there. It's going to be mostly a cold rain event, but Norway could pick up 20 to 40 millimeters, according to the GFS. Now, let's switch, and I'll show you the area in Newfoundland up there. Look how much snow is going to drop up there. We're talking 1 to 3 feet. If that thing was any closer to the coast and developed closer, it could drop even more than that. But right now, it looks like about 1 to 3 feet, been pretty consistent up there. Now let's look at the nor'easter. So this is the next big storm that's going to be brewing here. And we're going to look at the RDPS. It does pretty well for the East Coast, and it's a high resolution model. Right around Wednesday mornings when things start to get kind of dicey, here's the 540 line, the average rain to snow line. You'll notice some mixing in the upper elevations down here. And we're going to take a look at the surface because it could be very icy. You'll notice the average temperature is 32, but you'll look at the surface, and the surface is actually 32, farther south of that line. So that's meaning there's low-level cold air on the surface. So it might be rain up in the upper levels, but at the surface, that rain's going to freeze. What does that mean? It means freezing rain. So we'll be looking at that in a second. So early on, this could be a freezing rain event. Now, I'm making my own graphics for you guys, weather model graphics, so stay tuned. I think around January or so, this is going to be much easier to work with for you guys. And we're going to have our own custom graphics. So stay tuned for that and subscribe for that. And we're going to fast forward this. As you go to Wednesday night here, Wednesday around 4 p.m., this is when it really gets going. Here's your low pressure system. Your fronts are really starting to develop. That 540 line now into Pennsylvania, northern West Virginia. And that just north of that rain to snow line is typically where your heaviest snow is going to fall. That's where your best mid-level lift is, and potential thunder snow. So southern PA really getting in on the action Wednesday after around 4 p.m. or so. And Wednesday night into Thursday morning, this is when it's really going to get going. Your low pressure is really deepened, and you can see that arcing starting to develop, that comma head type of appearance. Your best lift just near northwest that low pressure system typically. And so there could be some thunderstorm in central and southern PA. Usually that occurs right when these things are developing, especially right when they hit the coastline. So somewhere between Wednesday night at, I would say, 10 p.m. and Thursday 1 a.m. or so, within that zone, that area has the best chance for thunder snow and 1 to 3 inch per hour rates. So we're going to fast forward this. This is Thursday morning now. Thursday morning at 6 a.m. It goes into New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. It's exiting Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and parts of Jersey now. And that continues to lift north. So I'm going to show you that lift that I was talking about. And then we'll look at amounts and go farther north as well. Vertical velocity, this is the thing we want to look at for intense snowfall amounts. So we're going to look at the thunder snow potential. I know you guys have seen amounts in a lot of areas, so we're going to do something a little bit different here. And you can see that big lift. So we'll go out to, again, I'm making my own graphics, so this is a lot smoother in the future, but you can see Wednesday at 4 p.m., Wednesday at 10 p.m. or so. So that's really where your lift's at right there. So that's thunder snow potential. You're talking negative 40, negative 50. So that's a ton of lift in the mid-levels. And that can be indicative of friction in the atmosphere, which causes lightning. And so heavy snow and maybe even some thunder as well. And you can even see that continues. So there could be some thunder snow from Pennsylvania into New York, maybe New Jersey. So we'll have to watch that. Then we'll go farther north. We'll look at amounts first, and then we'll go farther north and see what those folks are going to get up there. You know, total amounts by the this particular model. This is the Kuchera ratio. Now, I think this is going to be a little bit closer to 10 to 1, and the 10 to 1 amounts are just a little bit lower. But you look at the Kuchera ratio from central PA into New York, up into maybe even Vermont and New Hampshire, Connecticut, Massachusetts, 1 to 3 feet. Some of these areas getting 3 feet. So, but I think that it's going to be a little bit closer to 10 to 1. There's going to be some, particularly in the southern end here, in southern PA. So there might be a few inches less than what this shows, but still a very powerful nor'easter. we're going to be going up north a little bit more. And a couple of models have been trending upwards with this event. So these amounts actually could be very close to verifying. We're going to go up a little bit further north. And I'll show you the amounts on the RDPS. The RDPS does pretty well for the East Coast. It's a higher resolution model. You can see that as well. It goes all the way up until about Maine, and then it starts to die out. So right as the system's developing, it's going to be a little bit quicker moving. That's when your best bet's going to be, especially where areas where that mid-level lift and potential thunder snow develop. And I would place the heaviest gradient somewhere in from about southern PA to central PA out through New York. The way the lift looked in the mid-levels is getting the heaviest snow. That's the best area for 2, maybe even close to 3 feet. We're talking maybe closer to like 28, 30 inches, not quite 3 feet. But you look at the 10 to 1 and see what I'm talking about here. The 10 to 1 ratio is something closer to freezing, 32 degree temperatures. And you can see 16, 18, 20 inches, probably gonna be a little bit more than that, especially where there's enhanced thunder snow, mesoscale banding, and mid-level lift. That will probably happen in central northern PA, where you could get amounts a little more than what this particular algorithm is showing. You look at the 3cam model, and it is caking that region, and actually pretty well all the way up through Maine. Again, 1 to 2 feet, and then you look at the Kuchera ratio, and this is the most aggressive out of all the models. You look at the Kuchera ratio, and there's some areas getting over 30 inches. But like I said, I think a 1 to 2 feet is a good bet, probably closer to 20, 24 inches for many of these areas. At 30-inch amount, again, that'll be a little overdone and confined in areas where there's mesoscale banding or thunder snow that develops, where you get those 1 to 3 inch hour rates Thursday night or Thursday morning. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll be making more updates. Subscribe if you like videos like this, and we'll see you soon.